Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a video on the region in Burgundy called Chambolle Musigny. If you've watched my channel, you know that there's two areas that I've kind of concentrated on this year. One is Barolo, and I've done a video on Barolo for beginners, and the other one is Chambolle Musigny. And one of the reasons I like to choose these two regions is they're very compact. They're very small regions that are, I think, in a way easy to understand and easy to explain. So I'm going to try and focus on that. They are difficult to get wines, but now that I've got them on my radar, then I'll really search out for wines, Barolo wines and Chambolle Musigny wines over the next year or two, and really try to get a little bit more understanding of that region. And this is kind of how I kind of learn about wines. I try not to be too wide about everything. I have my area of I guess preferred drinking is mostly Bordeaux, and I feel quite comfortable, and now I'm starting to branch out in different areas, but I like to take little tidbits. Just saying, oh, I love Italian wines, that's too broad, or I like Napa wines, that's too broad. So I've chosen two regions, one Barolo and this one Chambolle Musigny. And again, Chambolle is the reason I've chosen it is it's a fairly tight region, so it's only about 153 hectares, and there's they've only got two Grand Cru vineyards or vineyard sites. That's Musigny and also Bonnes Mares, and then they've got, I think, 24 Premier Crus sites. So it's really fairly compact, and even of those Premier Cru, to me, there's only a couple, maybe three, that are really worthwhile in my mind drinking. One of them is Les Amoureuses, the other one is Les Charmes. Those are the two that I really enjoy drinking. But again, maybe I haven't had enough experience with the other ones, and I look forward to kind of drinking different little regions, Premier Cru vineyards in Chambolle Musigny, and to learn about the differences of them. A little bit about the history of the word Chambolle Musigny, why it's named that. There's a stream called the Grone stream, which is underneath kind of where Chambolle Musigny is, and because of how things, you have an underground current, sometimes when there's going to be a burst of the stream inside the field during stormy weather, and this resulted in what they call boiling or bubbling fields. The region is inspired by the word Cambus Ebulliens or Chambolle, and then in Celtic times, I guess at a certain point it must have been a region where Celtic people must have been in that region. It changed over to the word Cambola, which means boiling fields. So that's where you get the Chambolle. That's how it came about. And then Musigny was added because Musigny was a significant kind of vineyard in that area. So that's why you have Chambolle Musigny. I guess it sounds better than Chambolle Bonnes Mares. So that's why that's the name. That's where the name comes from. Again, I like studying these kind of compact regions. So the nice thing about Chambolle Musigny, it's only red wines. There is white wine produced in the area of Musigny. As I said, there's only two Grand Crus, 24 Premier Crus, and everything almost is red wine. And of course, if it's red wine, it's going to be made from the Pinot Noir grape. How I came about wanting to learn more about Chambolle Musigny is I drank just kind of in a generic term, wines from Chambolle Musigny and Gevrey Chaberton, kind of the two big regions. And to me, Gevrey is a little bit more cherry-like and kind of more acidic. And to me, Chambolle, even though Chambolle is lighter in color, it to me is a little bit more substantive. I know that Gevrey is a little bit more supposed to be more tannic, but in my mind, Chambolle Musigny is a little bit more elegant, a little bit more floral and fuller. I don't think more tannic, it's more just fuller in terms of richer in terms of the taste to me, and more interesting. I find Gevrey Chaberton wines a little bit on the fruity side, like the acidic kind of sour cherry type on the spectrum and not as complex in its use. People describe wines from Chambolle Musigny as a little bit more aromatic and violets, raspberry, strawberry. So it's very typical. It's kind of nice. That's what it kind of should taste like and smell like. And then with further aging, a little bit spiced fruits, prune and truffle, underbrush, and kind of animal notes. So it's kind of a beefiness or a kind of a gaminess. So those are all kind of things that I enjoy. Now with Chambolle Musigny, it's at the height of about 1,000 feet, and it is on the upper mid slope of the Cote d'Or. So what you'll find is most Burgundy wines, the Grand Cru sites are going to be in the middle slope. That's where the most sun exposure is. In general, the Premier Cru sites are going to be a little bit higher up on the slope, and then the kind of village wines are going to be at the lower part of the slope. Even at that, the kind of village Chambolle Musigny is not cheap. It's probably because it's not that big. 153 hectares for the whole region isn't that big. So, if you look at some of my other videos, some wineries are, 50 hectares. So it's really not that big a place. It's kind of not a very easy wine or region to approach as a beginner. So again, I've been drinking for a while, so it's a little bit more approachable once you've been drinking for a while, because the prices are up there. So I think even your village Chambolle Musigny is going to run you $100, $150. And so that should be a red flag if you are seeing Chambolle Musigny at like $30, $40. That's not quite possible, I don't think. Chambolle is like most other Burgundy regions, hot summers, cold winters with little rainfall. The temperature fluctuates dramatically from being very nice in the daytime to very low at the night, and the soil is well drained with active chalk and a little clay. So, and I'm going to put that out there to subscribers who know more than me about this region, Chambolle Musigny. What I really I'm hoping to do when I'm tasting and studying this is really, we can talk about all these facts and all these figures and whatever, but really what's the heart of it? What makes Chambolle so different? And again, I've described what I've tasted, but what exactly it is, I don't think anyone really knows. It could be the terroir, but this is very common terroir with many places in Burgundy and the Cote d'Or region. Likewise, the altitude or the climate, they're all fairly similar. And so that's something that I still need to discover. Why exactly Chambolle Musigny tastes like Chambolle Musigny and what is distinctive about it. I do know that Chambolle Musigny, and in particular Burgundies, pair very well with meats, and to me Chambolle probably pairs better than, let's say, Gevrey for like roast lamb, kind of gamey type dishes, veal, pigeon, guinea fowl if you have that, steak and mushrooms. I think it's great. Duck and truffles. I think these are fairly traditional French dishes. I think Chambolle goes very well with it. They also go well with cheeses, and that's probably why there's such a culture of having cheeses in France. Camembert, Brie, kind of like softer cheeses, I think. And I think softer cheeses sometimes will bring out the flavor more of these wines. Now, top producers. This is one producer that I actually really like, Pussy d'Or. It's kind of not that expensive comparatively. I know every wine in Chambolle is expensive, but it's relatively not expensive. And the nice thing about Pussy d'Or is it's got vineyards in different places. So once you drink and you like that style of wine or how they produce wines, you can drink across. So I've had their Bonnes Mares, their Charme, and also the Amoureuses. I enjoy them all. What I'm probably going to be looking for is to go a little bit higher up on the food chain in the region, and that would be trying to get some Bonnes Mares and some Musigny, and I'd love to try those. All of those producers, I'm looking for probably Combe Georges de Vosges, Roumier, Liwa, but you can also go downstream a little bit, like to negociants, big negociants like Grone and Favely. And in fact, you know, although they're big doesn't mean they're not good. And in Burgundy now, it's almost a necessity to go to negociant wines because it's getting so expensive. So it's really ard for a person that's just based on, let's say, a video of mine to say, well, now I'm going to start drinking Roumier, you know, Bonnes Mares at $3,000 or $4,000 a bottle. So you know, we have to start somewhere, and you can't just take people's opinion or take their word for it. You have to drink it yourself to know if you even like it. It could be a really, really great wine, but you personally don't like the style, or that's not your thing, and so you've kind of wasted money based on someone else's likes and opinions. So that's why I think it's really important to actually start with some kind of less expensive wines in Chambolle, if you can find them, just to see if that appeals to you. And I would really recommend that people kind of do what I did. Go and drink some wine from Beaune, a wine from Chambolle Musigny, and a wine from Gevrey-Chabreton, and see if there is any difference. If there's no difference to you, then maybe you would take the cheapest of the options at this point. If you do find a difference, maybe you like Gevrey style, maybe you like Beaune wines, then you should go with that. And that's kind of how I approach you know, learning about wines. It's got to be something that you want to do. It can't be just, oh, I like Burgundy because everyone else likes Burgundy, or, you know, I think I should like Burgundy, or because I'm a sophisticated wine drinker and every sophisticated wine drinker likes Burgundy, that's why I'm going to drink Burgundy. No, then you would never have that passion. And so even, you know, people that don't drink Burgundy, that's fine. I really am kind of half in the door at this point. I know I enjoy it more than I did, let's say, 10 years ago. I never liked Burgundy 10 years ago, never understood it. And now I'm starting to understand it a little bit better, I think. And I'm starting out with wines from Chambolle Musigny. So I hope this introductory video with respect to Chambolle Musigny has been useful. And to me, it's kind of a journey. I hope that viewers and subscribers that follow me will follow my journey as I learn more about Barolo and as I learn more about Chambolle Musigny. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, happy drinking.